the large wine. It has maybe some wine from Woodlands, but also from vineyards that we manage and that are within 2 kilometres. So this is so that we don't just have the one wine and we just sit too high. This is so we can actually have a wine that people can enjoy. And also these wines do different things. The Chardonnay is normally 20% in oak. It's designed to be more fruit forward, more of a flinty Chablis style, whereas you see the one on the Woodlands, because it comes from this rich loam soil that Stu was mentioning earlier, it's got power. And with that kind of power, you know, it's funny if you look at, for example, in Burgundy, everything's limestone on Côte de Beaune until you hit Montrachet. That's actually got loam. So it's actually a buttonhole of loam in a limestone area. And that's where they get the power as well, because that comes from the clay and the laterite. So it's also got this massive power. And so we work with that, so it's 1/3 new oak, but all fermented in barrel. And so it's more of a, I'd say, more of a Burgundian thing, with more skin contact, you know, more pressings. Yeah. And so with both these wines, apart from that, we don't add any enzymes, there's no chemical additions or anything like that. A very, very common chemical used in the wine industry, probably the most common, I'd say, actually, is called pectin. And pectin is when you crush your white wine, it goes into a tank, you add this pectin and it actually separates off all the clear juice from the solids. And then it's a chemical separation as opposed to, yeah, it's an enzyme, yeah. And so most people, then they just rack it off and then they take that away. Whereas what we do is we just chill it down very, very cold and then we just rack it by eye. And you don't get as much wine from your fruit, but you end up getting a more natural separation. Because too many solids will make a wine pretty terrible.
Funky.
Very, very funky, that's right. So you don't want, so we just do it by eye. Tiny bit of solids will probably get through because we just take it off and then pop it off. But you end up with a wine that I think that's more natural. And I think we're trying to make wines that are true. And I think that's typical when you already at the birth of a wine, when you've crushed it before you've even fermented it. You know, you're making an enzyme.
We like to make the wines that we like to drink, and we like to make the wine styles that we like to drink. So really, anytime you drink a wine from Woodlands, I think you're tasting something that reflects our palate. Probably more so that we're not trying to make wines to any particular palate, you know, like wine writers or whatever. We make the wines that we think that need to be made, and you know, and one of those things that makes us unique is that we don't make any Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc. We don't have it planted. We tend not to drink a lot of that style of wine at home, and particularly so if we drink white wine, more often than not it's Chardonnay or a bit more eccentric, something like Condrieu or something like, you know, if we're going to drink something different, we'll drink something different. But then again, there's always exceptions to the rule.
You just don't like Sauvignon Sauvignon, or we go through the works?
I think it's a very popular produce in Margaret, and I do think it works in Margaret. It's just that I think we've always been brought up to believe that Sauvignon Blanc, you know, it's a little bit of a one-dimensional grape, and maybe, you know, maybe just a bit coarse. I think it needs the Semillon. I think Semillon is clearly a noble grape, you know, in the thing, but probably the blend of Semillon Sauvignon Blanc and Margaret is extremely popular, and it does work. But really, I think that I would much rather see the styles, and I think they're just starting to come now. For example, like, you know, I'm not talking about other wineries, but Fraser Gallagher just released a parterre thing that they call, which is fantastic. It's an oak sem sab thing. Legend Bray are doing that kind of oak sem sab thing. Cat and Tell thing. You know, they're just starting to, you know, come into their own. Well, Cat and Tell have been doing that for a long time, though. But yeah, that for me is much more interesting. But then, you know, we'll do, like, we had a friend come for dinner the other night, and we drank some Giorgione salads. You know, like, that was, you know, that's good, you know, but I don't think we have the same characters in our wine, you know, and I think that, yeah, I think, you know, we tend not to drink a lot of it ourselves, so we concentrate just on the Chardonnays or whatever people bring.